this next couple coming up, they had, I think, the largest independent ever. I think they were the largest independent in North America, period. They're out of Phoenix, Arizona, and they took that monstrous business, 700, 800 agents, I don't know how big it was, in one building and brought it to EXP because they knew there was a bigger vision for their lives. And I'll let them tell you the story. Everybody loves them. So help me welcome Chuck and Angela Fazio from Phoenix, Arizona, everybody. Woo!
Wow, what a pleasure to be here. The one thing I don't believe, I wished everybody loved me. They don't. Not everybody loves me.
That was just a joke.
That was a joke. Maybe he said, well, some people love him. I think that's what it was. You know, I think it's fair to start off by letting you know a little about who we are and where we came from, because at the end of this, we want to wrap a bow on it and basically say there's not one person sitting here that can't be in our place in what we do. So I moved out of New York. I know that might be a surprise. I lived in New York, not Alabama, you know, New York. And I moved out of New York about the end of '98 to move to Arizona without even having a job. Like, I had no idea. I just said, I'm done with New York, and I'm moving to Arizona. And I said, what can I do? Well, I want to do something that I can make a lot of money and be my own boss. I go, I got it. I'll get into real estate. So I started my real estate in taking classes, and I never forget, halfway through the classes, I was like, no, I hate school. This is the smart and the beauty behind the business. I just go along for the ride. But I hate school, and I'm like, God, this just sucks. Like, how am I gonna pass this test? How am I even gonna get through this? And as I'm going through, I never forget, the recruiters, they solicit you while you're in school. And I never forget, there was a KW one, and they go, oh my God, when you get out, you come hang your license with us. And I went home and I told my dad, I go, Dad, I got a job already. Somebody wants me. And they kept following up every week. You almost done. I'm like, I cannot believe, this person must see a lot of value in this. So did everybody else, right? And so we got my license. I started off 2 years. I sucked. I didn't sell any homes. As a matter of fact, I wrote a lot of contracts. And I never forget, the broker at Keller Williams said to me, they go, Chuck, I've never seen anything that's like this. There's not been one agent that writes that many contracts that they all cancel within the 5 days. She goes, do you threaten them? I'm like, I don't know, do I have good selling skills? So that's how I started my career. And then being broke, having a lot of debt, you would think my life just sucked, but then the best thing ever happened to me. One day at a team meeting, I'm sitting there, I'm miserable, I'm going through a divorce, life just sucked. And I don't even know if real estate's my career. And in walked this beautiful blonde. Now you're going, oh my gosh, Chuck, but your wife's a brunette. Nope, she's a natural blonde. So you can take the story from there, honey, because you walked in, and I know as you walked in, you were like, oh my God, it's the man of my dreams. You still haven't told me that yet, I'm waiting.
So this is actually a true story. It was my first day in real estate, and I was really bitchy. And I was angry, and I was divorcing, and I was like, I don't want to be a broke single mother, so
but
that's
she's
why.
Hot. You know what? You know that, women. When you're hot, it covers everything else.
No,
Doesn't
it
matter.
does not. Don't be a bitch. So I walked in, and I didn't want to be a broke single mother because I had a little baby, and I was a teacher before, and I didn't want to be broke. So I was very, very determined. We're both off the chart high Ds, like off the chart.
If we showed our DISC assessments, you would be like, that's the same DISC assessment.
Right. We didn't know that at the time. So I went and sat down, and it was a husband-wife running the team.
But you don't have to tell that whole story.
Yes, I do.
No.
And so
All right.
I was really
I
paying
think I'm going to have to
attention.
run. I hope nobody's got stuff to throw at me.
They do. Ladies,
Remember?
get ready. So
This is what I call pre-Christ.
Okay,
All right?
he
So
always
let you
makes
know.
excuses right here in the story. He'll make more. And so the husband and wife, they wrote, they're writing the sales on the whiteboard, the listings and the sales and what's going on. And all of a sudden I hear his voice from the back say, hey, Nikki. I can't do his voice. Hey, Nikki.
Gene should be doing my voice.
Yeah. Hey, I wish you knew the story well enough to do this part. He goes, hey, Nikki, are you on a diet? And she turns around.
There's 20 people on the team. I'm in the back of the room. I'm miserable. Broke,
Oh, yeah.
going through a divorce.
See his excuses? So she turns around and she's kind of heavier. She's a little heavier. And she goes, yeah, Chuck, can you tell? And he goes, yeah, I can see the board now.
All right, stop throwing. I thought it was a compliment.
He did not.
I did.
And so my very first words.
So now watch. And I know we got some younger people. Has anybody ever seen the movie The Exorcist? So here's Angela. She's sitting in front of me, but I could swear to you her body never changed, but she was facing me.
Uh-huh.
That head did a 180.
Yes, picture blonde hair.
Now, my beautiful wife, the first words out of her mouth to her future husband was,
what are you, an asshole? And then I ripped him apart in front of the whole team, and I'm sure I was red from here to here.
the moral to the story is, I'm good at sales.
So that's how we started, and we were literally broke the whole first year together.
So just to speed it up so you could understand, we almost got out of the business. We wound up getting together. We were broke together. I mean, literally broke, in debt. I had 2 little kids. She had 1.
He didn't tell me about the in-debt part until way later.
Yeah, you leave out minor details. So, but here's what we say. By the grace of God, we wound up leaving KW, and I always say, it has nothing to do with KW. So that's not the thing. It was more of a leap of faith. It was our walk with Christ. It was getting out and then implementing what we do best, being who we are. And we went from failures in the business to being one of the top agents in the country, to running one of the top teams in the country, thinking the next logical step was opening up our own brokerage. So in 2005, we opened up our brokerage. And we opened up our brokerage with passion. And we grew that brokerage to be one of the top brokerages in Arizona. And then fast forward 2 years ago, it's almost 2 years now that we closed it down. We were the #1 single office independent brokerage, really the #1 single office brokerage in the entire country. And we used to sell about 6,000 homes a year, $2 billion in production. And in mine and my beautiful wife's career, we have overseen over 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And I always go praise Jesus on that, because that's the only way that happened. So we're blessed. We're blessed. We made a big decision. So a lot of people go, how do you take a brokerage, #1, that size, that successful, and a office? So our physical building was actually featured in Inman as one of the most incredible real estate offices in the country. Our real estate office was 21,000 square feet, has a full bar, cafe, event center, game room, podcast, esthetician. I mean, a 7,000 square foot patio with a bar on it. That was our real estate office. So the joke at the time when we were really looking at EXP to do this was, how does a company that put all their eggs in the basket of being connected, being so physical, why would we even entertain a brokerage that claims we're virtual? Right? That was a big deal for us to look at. And so the moral to the story was, we had to get past ourselves. We had to get past our pride and ego. That was ours. We're successful. And sit and go, what's the opportunities? We're not naive people. As big as we were, technically we're still a mom and pop shop. And at some point, we're gonna have to compete with the big players, the technology. And we're going to talk a little about why and how you grow. But fast forward, I came over before the brokerage closed down. Glenn had said, hey, check it out. But at some point, we're going to have to decide, because it was new when I went over EXP. So that was a leap of faith right there. But almost 2 years now, where it was February.
End of February 2020, yeah.
End of February.
2 weeks before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we literally closed the brokerage. And I'm going to be transparent. And a lot of people get this part of the story confused. So you guys are going to hear it right from the, I was going to say the horse's mouth, but I guess I'm a horse. I don't know. But so out of 906 agents, 906, we're not naive. We knew when we closed down and moved to EXP, we figured we were going to lose agents. Nobody's going to go. And us and the staff were going, well, what do you think we're going to lose? And she's like, oh, we'll probably lose about 100, 200 agents, tops. And I'm like, I have a feeling it's going to be a little more than that. I like to be optimistic, but, you know, we're virtual. This is a new company, and it did not have a good reputation at the time. When we made the move, we tried to, because there's no blueprint ever for a brokerage that size to come to EXP. So we were the trendsetters. And the way we thought we could do it is take chunks of the big producers and have them over for dinner in groups and let them know to slowly roll it out, because you couldn't do it in one shot. Well, the second group, one of the agents who's supposedly a friend of mine left my house, called Keller Williams up, HomeSmart, and a RE/MAX office to let them know what we were doing, and they just pounced on our agents, feeding them with all the lies. It's a pyramid scheme. They're going out of business. Chuck and Angela is selling you out. So here's the fact of the matter. We lost 600 agents when we made the move. And the industry looked at us as a catastrophic fail. And God is so good to us that, like she said, what happened a week later, the pandemic hit and literally changed the playing field of the industry, which positioned us. Plus, when we do things, and we prayed over this for a while, we know who we are. So lesson number one, guys, don't let anybody ever tell you you can't do something. Anybody. God created each and every one of you in his image to do great things. The only ones that get in the way of that is you. So I always want you to remember that. There's nothing you can't achieve. Remember, we went from being broke to where we're at now. So right now, we have an organization of over 6,500 agents. So remember, it took us 15 years to go to 900 agents, 3.5 to go to 6,500, and about 85 FLQAs. And we are just blessed to be here to share our knowledge, our skill set, our experience, because I'm going to tell you right now, we are no better than any one of you guys in here. So we're going to go over some key points on how to be successful. Now, mind you, this is coming from people who lived and breathed this stuff for over 15 years. When you build a brokerage that has a no name to be one of the largest brokerages, we're going to teach you all of our secrets on how to do that right now.
I think it's important that we had a long intro right there so that you can understand.
Are you saying I'm long-winded?
No.
Oh.
Because the long intro is important, because we're talking to. We could literally talk to you for 3 hours. I'm not kidding about this. It's the mindset of agent attraction. So we're going to pull out a few things about the mindset of agent attraction, and we needed to tell you that, because people go, well, you had 1,000 people when you started. No, we didn't, right? So there's just some things that you can do and think about and approach your business, and we're going to go over 4 points. And the first thing about getting a great foundation for a mindset of attraction is you have to know your product. You have to know EXP. EXP is extraordinary. Now you're gonna learn that with agent attraction, you don't necessarily lead with EXP. But the more that you learn about EXP, the more that your passion for the company will rise and your knowledge of the company will rise, so that when you get astute at speaking to people, you'll have the confidence. When you know and you're passionate, you'll have confidence, and people will feed off the confidence that you have. So when I say know EXP, I'm talking about the tools, the resources, the people, the value of the people, what people are good at, your organization, what Nicole was talking about, the processes and procedures that are at your disposal. You've got to know EXP and what it stands for.
You know, the one thing that we tell people, and we teach sales, we've trained one of the best recruiters in the world. That's, if you know Kristen, our right-hand girl. And like Angela alluded to, is passion. We were created as energy, guys. People feed off of your energy. And the way we grew our brokerage, a no-name brokerage from the ground up. Now watch this. In a temporary location. We didn't even have a location when we started. And in our company, we recruited 80 agents the first year without even having a physical space. We were having a space built. So what we did is we knew what we were going to do there, how we were going to operate. So every agent we went up to, it was our passion and excitement about this is where we're going. And they feed into that. Without a vision, people are lost. They want to be around leaders. They want to be around excited people. People don't have to believe what you're saying. I know that sounds crazy. I'm going to repeat that. Remember this. They don't have to believe what you're saying. They have to believe you believe what you're saying. If you don't come across like that is everything to you, you cannot transfer that energy to them. There's always one person selling the other in a conversation, and it's that person with the confidence and the energy will always outsell that other person. How do you think I got her? So when Angela talks about that, guys, I am blown away when you people go, oh my gosh, I want to build residual income. And I do this to agents all the time. I go, okay, let's sit down. Tell me about this in the world. Tell me about this product. Tell me, and you know what most of them do? They look at me with a blank stare. They have no idea what you're even selling. And look, I'm not trying to, we don't put people down, but I'm hoping that I shake you to the core if you want to change your life. But most of you guys have no idea what you're selling. And when I say that, I mean every little nuance that even myself, when I go in the world, and I walk in the world, and Angela does this all the time with recruits, and you walk into a broker's office virtually, and there's people immediately standing behind the desk going, hello, Chuck. Hello, Angela. If that doesn't blow you away, you've never been in there talking to a broker. Or you've never experienced another company. So when people say, oh, but how do I talk to the broker? I want to see them in person. First of all, I call bullshit on that. I ran a big company. They're not in the office talking to the brokers. No way. They like to use excuses. But when you show them that experience, right? How mind-blowing. And she always jokes around with the brokers.
I do. They know I don't sell real estate. They know I'm there. But okay, I have a question for you about the world. Who's ever been in the hub? That place is cool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the hub. That's cool. There's these things that you can continually discover that's happening in there. And it's not just the world. It's workplace, and it's the tools, and it's it's everything. So that's number one.
And I want to touch on one more thing, because I used to say this to everyone just in general about getting their real estate license. One of my biggest beefs about real estate in general, it's too damn easy to get a friggin' license. It's harder to get your license cut in hair than it is selling real estate. So why does that become a problem? Here's why it becomes a problem, is because there's no value to it. There's no skin in the game for you to dive in. Now, I'm gonna challenge you right here. If you were us and you wanted to open up your own real estate brokerage, do you think it would cost probably at least $100,000, $200,000, blood, sweat, tears? Do you think you'd invest $200,000 opening up a brokerage with not knowing anything that you're doing? You would know every little detail. You'd be sold on it. You know what the problem with most of you agents? You paid $149 for an international real estate brokerage. Let me say that again. Do you realize what you just bought? An international real estate brokerage. You now own a company for $149. That's mind-blowing. The price of admission really in DXP should have been about $50,000. I bet you'd work a little differently then. Go ahead, start with number two.
Okay, so the second one that we want to talk about, it's really where we spend the bulk of our time. Now, yes, we prospect, of course we do. And yes, we follow up, yeah, you do. But the bulk of our time is in the development of our value propositions. You have to have value. Why are people going to choose you? Yes, they can know, like, and trust you. That's kind of foundational at this point. But what are you offering people? So what I mean by that is, are they coming to you, okay, here's how you do it. Like God, like he said in the beginning, God wired you all with talents and skills, all of you. You've got to identify what those are. I don't care how insignificant you think they are in the beginning. If you're great at open houses, develop the shit out of open houses, put it down, I'm sorry, to put it down on paper,
Well,
create
they
a
looked
process.
at you as a sweet girl until that.
Sorry. Create a process, get it on paper, learn how to articulate it, learn how to deliver that. Could you edit that video? Could you take my curse word out? Okay. And literally that can become the beginning of a value proposition. We spend so much time doing this because I really want, when people come and trust us with sponsorship, that they're happy, that they get value out of it, that they tell their friends about it. And so value proposition is huge, and that takes a lot of effort and time to develop. And you should be constantly looking for ways to add on to or further develop your value proposition. And I'm just going to do a little plug right now. I'm sorry, just for the ladies in the room. I do this group called Power Women. It's free. It's called Power Women. We meet every 2 weeks, and all we talk about
Is bench pressing.
is bench pressing.
Oh.
Yes, is agent attraction, authentic agent attraction. And we just go through all the steps, practical information, and a lot of our conversation is about the development of a value proposition. You guys are welcome to email me. We're going to offer several things of value to you today. So if you want to be part of that and learn this step by step and put some real effort into it, I am happy to help you because it's so important.
Now here's the secret I'm going to give you guys, and I want you to process this. 85% of all real estate agents, 85%, fail within the first 5 years. Fail. You know what made us successful? Because we were at a level looking at this industry most of you don't see. So I'm not going to hold this part against you, but I will hold it against you now in the future because I'm going to tell you a secret that we knew that made us so successful. If 85% of all agents fail within the first 5 years, how many agents do you think are unhappy where they're at? Think about that. If you're failing through those first 5 years, are you happy at the brokerage you're at? Now I'm not sitting there faulting the brokerage nor the agent. I don't know which one's at fault, but they're not happy. So here's what I'm going to tell you. That means, and I'm making a real easy number that I know for sure. 50% of all real estate agents you talk to do not like where they're at. Got it? Do not like their business. Even though they tell you they're good, they don't want that, they don't need that. It's not true. Nobody wants to be sold. So here's the secret I'm going to give you guys. When you create a value proposition that could help their business, and you lead in with, let me show you how to get more leads. Let me show you how to double and triple your business. Would you be interested in hearing about that? Is that a different value proposition? Now, the next thing you all might be saying to yourself, or at least most of you, is, that sounds great, Chuck, but how do I do that? How do I create something that I could say that? You ready? Here's the secret for you guys. I do this all the time. Learn KV Core like the back of your hand. Master KV Core as a system. Master it. It might take you 30 days. It might take you 60 days. If it takes you longer than that, get out of the business. Seriously, you can't help nobody. But here's where I'm going with it. Because let me ask you a question. Are you all sitting here, would you be happy or at least excited a little bit if you were going to make $10,000 a month? $10,000 a month residual income. That's over $100,000 a year. Do you know most people in the world don't do that in a year? And you guys come in, and me and Angela deal with this all the time. I want to make $10,000 a month and more in residual income. I'm like, what do you have to offer? You want money for nothing. That's really what you're saying. So are you ready? Here's how you master KV Core. Go on YouTube, go in the world, Google it, Go on KV Core itself. There's training tutorials. And if you dive in for 30 days, give me 30 days to master that system. What that means is know how to work your database, know how to use squeeze pages, know how to use landing pages. I guarantee, call me up in 30 days. You're going to call me up and say, Chuck, I had no idea this system could change my business. Now you go out and you start marketing. Who's interested in a free coach to double and triple your business? And here's the cool thing. Everyone gets KV Core for free. So you're not even selling a product. All you're saying is, come with me and I will teach you. Be with me and I will teach you how to generate leads, work your database, which I'm going to tell you, NAR puts out stats every year. That is the number one thing every real estate agent should be doing, is working that database, but yet the statistic says 4% do it.
4% of you work a database.
If you teach that, how do you think we were top producing? We used to sell hundreds of homes a year, all from our database, working relationships. So that's the simple part. There's a lot of other ways to do it. But if you're sitting here going, Chuck, how do I even do that? Learn KV Core. You could go on YouTube and become a master in 30 days. Put time in. I guarantee you'll be a top recruiter.
See how he's talking? Like he and I will be at dinner. We go on dates like almost every night. And we'll be talking like this about apples. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. Everyone thinks we're having a very serious and passionate conversation.
So we go to the same restaurants all the time because they'll tell, no, that's just the way they are. They're like off the chart Ds.
So are we going to move on to the next one?
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but you really do have to let this soak in, is you have to have proper expectations of the amount of effort and time it takes. Okay, if you don't know the DISC assessment, I will send you a training for free. I'll send it to you for free if you get a hold of me, because this, I really feel like if you have at least an elementary understanding of the DISC assessment, what you'll discover is that most people in the world hate change. They hate it. They would rather be miserable and comfortable than get out of their comfort zone to blow their world up. And so that's why it takes love and relationship and value over periods of time to convince these people who are scared to death of change to make a move. And so that's why you have to have proper expectations on the front end. I heard about all the work you have to do. Of course, this is a job. You're getting paid a lot of money. You need to do a lot of work. But the follow-up and the love on people long term, it takes time. Very few times do I talk to somebody and they're like, sign me up. And you guys intrinsically know that, but do you know it? Right? Chuck and I just brought somebody over that he's been talking to for a year and a half. And he said no.
The guy was a hard no.
He was a hard no.
I'm never coming.
We were hard nose. We were hard nose. And we came eventually. And so you've got to really remind yourself, encourage each other about this expectation thing, about how long-suffering you have to be. And for God's sakes, don't hang on 2 or 3 prospects. Don't say, but I've talked to Max 17 times over the last 3 weeks, and he's still saying no. You need many Maxes that you're talking to. Max is the name of my Cavapoo. He's so cute. If you look on my Instagram.
If you want a Max, I will give you one. You can recruit him and then take him. Let him live with you.
So I mean, it's kind of simple, but proper expectations.
Proper expectations also lead to this. Most of you never ran a business, so you don't understand that this is not natural for you. Remember, we have an advantage because we ran a large company and had no choice to build it. So that's why we're appealing to you today to go understand really what it takes. If I could just shift your mindset. Now, I will tell you, living in the United States in this culture, you have an unfair, what's the best way to say it? Mind warp. Because this culture tells you that you should have everything now, immediately, instant gratification. So the point is you guys don't even realize it. I don't care if it was for 5, 10, 15, or even 20 years plus. You've been brainwashed. Your brain has been wired that if you don't get it now, it's a problem. Do you see that? It's a mindset you have to work towards. Like, seriously be cognizant of it. Because that, I think, is one of the biggest problems. We want instant gratification instead of understanding there is no finish line. You're not racing towards a finish line. You're going through a process. I say, embrace the process. It is your life. That's how you have to look at it. And every day you wake up and you just thank God that it's a new day. Do not squander your damn days. Too many people live so damn casual that they forget that how precious life is until something radical hits you. Every day wake up intentional, going, I will work at this and I will not stop. It's when you stop is when it fails. Guys, when we were broke, we worked 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, nonstop for probably 3 years straight.
With not one day
and
off,
we
maybe
wired
Christmas.
ourselves that way that people look at us now and they go, oh my gosh, look how successful you are. Look how much money you're making. And you guys are just living the dream. We work, guess how many days? 7 days a week. We love what we do. We wired our brain that way. I mean, I'm blessed. I get to do it with the love of my life and best friend, but we do it together, and that's how we're successful. Persistent, consistent.
And just to give you perspective, a lot of people think, we closed our brokerage down and we hit the ground running, and it seems that way, but up here, it took a long time for us to gain our footing again. It was starting over, and it was recreating processes, and it was unpeeling the onion of our mind, getting out of the old traditional brokerage mentality and into this new exciting world. So just now, we're not even at the 2-week mark, 2-year mark, and I really feel like we're just starting to gain traction. So it takes time. Brent, how are we doing? Are we taking too much time? Okay, so, I mean, I'm being very transparent with you. Just in the last couple of months, do he and I look at each other and go, I think we're ready to get going?
No.
I'm serious. It took
don't even
that
think we started
long
yet.
for us to establish the right mindset, and we're not stopping to establish better mindset. You don't stop that. And value proposition and momentum and understandings and systems and people, and it's everything. You gotta be patient and persistent and consistent for a long time.
Lastly.
The last thing is leverage, which we talk about all the time because it is beautiful. It's like the cloth of this company is leverage. It's why this works so well, is you have to embrace leverage. Everything from don't try to explain EXP yourself. It's silly. I still don't try to explain EXP by myself all the time. I love 3-way calls. It's beautiful.
She calls me up. No.
Yeah, I do sometimes. I do, if the personality matches right, or whatever, but we use leverage all the time. We want people to leverage us. We leverage Brent. We leverage these events. We leverage conversations. I leverage crossways, downways, upways, any way I can leverage to appeal to this person, make this person feel special, meet them where they're at, help them to achieve their goals, appeal to them over time, keep relationship. That leverage thing, you've got to work all the time to master and really fully understand.
You know, this is the beauty of the entire company. You don't realize what you have if you're not utilizing it. And guess what? It's up to you. Do not blame someone else. Do not go, they didn't reach out to me. They didn't do this for me. They didn't. Guess what? Nobody cares about you but you. Now, I'm not saying nobody cares, but my point is, if you want it bad enough, go get it. If you're sitting in this room right now, you have the biggest rock star in the company on your side. Do you realize that? If you were to go out and build your own business, so let's say you wanted to build a real estate company, and I said, number one, how would you like to hire me as your partner? How would you like to bring me on as your partner to help you build your company? Would you do that? Right? How would you also like to bring Brent on? Wow, add that in. And how about throw Gene in the mix? Let's just throw Gene in there somewhere, right?
Where's Gene?
You just, and look, and just put the icing on the cake. We'll even throw James in.
Go
right?
on, James.
Now, you see, now, as crazy as that is, like wipe your mind clean, you're here at EXP. Think about if you have the opportunity to build a company and we're building it with you. We're your partners. You couldn't afford us. You couldn't afford. You might afford Kurt Shewell. I'll throw him up next. He's like bargain discount rate. You'll see him soon. But my point is, that's what you have. That's your partners. We have a valued interest in your success. When Brent says jump, I go how high? You know why? That's my partner. I'll do anything for my partner, anything. Because we're building an empire and we just started. Guys, I want to rock your mind a bit to give you how much of an opportunity this really is. So currently, right now, we're at about 73,000 agents, right? 73,000 agents. I think if I remember correctly, the company's already created 17 millionaires. Right about that, I think that's kind of an accurate number. 17 millionaires, average people. These aren't, oh, they got some special gifts. 17 people, 73,000 agents. We have already created 17 millionaires. And some of them are already multi-millionaires. Got it? We're looking to grow to 500,000 agents. 73, 17 millionaires, grow to 500,000. Maybe that number's too big for you. Let's just say we grow to Keller Williams numbers. Let's say we get to 170,000. 170, that's almost 100,000 more. That's over doubling what we have. That means every one of you in this room, every one of yous, could be a millionaire. Yeah, thank you. I like that. It's not, do I have the money to buy into that? You're already here. You're in this room on the right team. Guys, the opportunity. Look, we go through life one time. One time. We don't know if we're going to get up tomorrow. I don't know about you, but I got to a point in my life, I said, Lord, change me so I could be a blessing to others. Because I'm going to tell you the coolest part about this company, it's not how much money we make. It's not the fact that I get to be with my beautiful wife every day. When you could bless someone, that becomes addicting. I love blessing people. I love changing lives. Any last notes?
I don't know why I feel led. I hope that you guys will.
But you don't feel like blessing lives?
No, I don't know why I feel led to
I do.
tell you this.
So you got me.
No, I hope that no one will be offended, but I just want to say a prayer over you. I pray to the Lord Jesus that you guys are blessed in your business. I pray your production grows. I pray that your organizations grow. I pray that your lives are blessed and that you bless everyone around you, that God grants you favor everywhere you go, and that your business explodes.
And that we change the name of this company to be a blessing to the industry. They don't know it yet. Guys, I want to leave you off with one last thing. Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. God called us to be like-minded, sharpen each other, and you will be blessed. Blessed. Thank you, thank you. God bless you guys.
Chuck and Angela, everybody. Woo! Great stuff. Thank you.